Book Monster Mitch. Real quick, not earlier this year, but last year sometime, I had posted a video asking or saying that I was debating between two books. One book being a collection and the other being a novel for this year. I've decided on the novel. When I'll get to it, I'm not sure, but I pulled it off the shelf yesterday. So the novel I pulled off the shelf, let me grab it real quick. Sorry, just grabbing some stuff, moving stuff around. Towel for a second in the shot. Sorry about that. This is the novel I will start on eventually. In that video that I referred to a few minutes ago, I posed the question of reading this Moby Dick or a collection of Edgar Allan Poe that I've also got hardback. And ironically, I had the Edgar Allan Poe collection along with Fellowship of the Ring and one other book on my desk till yesterday, just before I went in the other room and pulled this off the shelf. So, this Moby Dick will eventually be a reread, because I don't know if I mentioned it on the channel or not, but I did read Moby Dick, along with a few other classic books as a preteen / teenager, because I had a series of hardback books with under the heading of Great Illustrated Classics. Anybody out there remember those? Every other page was an illustration with the page of text and a caption of that illustration, whether it be a quote from a character on the text page or just something capturing that illustration. So that being said, like I said, Moby Dick was among those great illustrated classic books. But I since handed those off, and I was in my local bookstore maybe a year ago, give or take, and I picked this up for about $6. So this will be my first read of the book proper. And what I mean by that is the copy I had, all those great illustrated classics were a condensed, abridged version of the classic story. So this should be the full-on, no illustrations at all, text of Moby Dick. Now, I'm saying all this, but again, I don't know when I'll get to it. I am reading currently Heir to the Empire, Star Wars, Throne Trilogy, Book 1. I am over 70%, excuse my tongue-tied self, over 70%, maybe around 75%, in Heir to the Empire, Star Wars, Throne Trilogy 1. That's been a read since February of last year, believe it or not. It's a year ago, over a year, because tomorrow is March 1st as of recording this. So, you know, I have a good, 25% of that book to go, and I am currently on chapter 12 of Empire of Silence, Christopher Rocchio, Sun Eater, Book 1. I just started chapter 12 of Empire of Silence before recording this. And I'm 16% into that, about 140 pages there. So, like I said, with those two books, it's just a matter of time before I want to get myself out of outer space and back into an earthly read, be it, a story that takes place on Earth, maybe in the 1800s or early 1900s, mostly at sea, but so I'll let you know when I'll start that. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but then again, I didn't think I would start Sun Eater this soon. I actually hoped I wouldn't start Sun Eater this soon, but that's neither here nor there. I'm enjoying my time with that book and that series overall as of now. So, no complaints. Let me know what you're reading or what you plan to read. One of the inspirations for picking up the Moby Dick was like I said, I read it when I was a teenager and wanted to come back to it. And two, the biggest reason for picking it up again, or wanting to pick it up again, is Jakob over at Talking Story with father and son, John and Jakob Minton. They're part of the trio of J.A.J. Minton with book 1 of Strange Eons Discovery out. Jakob said he was picking up Moby Dick and going to slowly read it at some point with his mom Amy's urging. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm due for another full-on read of Moby Dick all these years later, and B, Jakob over at Talking Story was an influencer as well. So I'll let you go here. Let me know down in the comments things you are reading, have read, plan to read, whatever, watching, playing, video game wise, it doesn't matter. I'm all over myself if you can't tell. Thank you. Have a good day, good evening. I'll talk to you soon.